thought, you know what? Now I've got the GoPro properly, and we're gonna start doing these vlogs properly. I thought I'd do the next one where I live in the wilderness. You know, as you know me, Shay Spoon, a renegade, London boy. You know, it makes a massive difference, your environment and how you feel mentally, you know. And obviously I've been out here in Yorkshire now for coming on to 3 years. And yeah, a lot has changed since I've been out here. Been able to really really lock in and bring my vision to life, you know. The vision I've got with Renegade, the vision I've got with Sky Juice. But within that vision, there's obviously been a lot of outside demons trying to stop that vision coming to play, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this podcast, but we're going to follow on from what I was talking about with Sky Juice, what me and Terrell were talking about, addiction, you know, what does addiction stem from, trauma. And I personally feel that a lot of people who do electronic music, even the punters, even the people that go raving every single week and get off their nut to escape the reality of their mind, I think the majority of people that do this music are traumatized souls, you know. Traumatized souls. And it's a coping mechanism, you know. It's how we cope, it's how I cope anyway, with life, you know. I was born into trauma. And what I mean by that, my dad was murdered the week before I was born. No sob story, we keep it rolling. But what that basically means is, you know, you're attached to your mother through birth. You're attached, umbilical cord. So the trauma my mum must have been feeling the week before my dad was murdered, or the week before I was born, should I say, you know, that trauma is basically passed on to the child. You inherit it. And they call that ADHD. That's the theory. ADHD is a coping mechanism for trauma. The trauma you inherited from your mother. These are all theories, I guess. They're all theories. And I think the older you get, the more you realize that no one's going to save you from your childhood traumas and how they affect you in adulthood. No one is going to save you but you, you know. You know what as well? A lot of people said if I'm going to speak about mental health, you know, don't be smoking weed, because obviously people naturally connect marijuana and someone being tapped, you know. But for me, I'm an advocate for marijuana. You know, I smoke weed every single day, and it, as I said, it helps. It helps me get through this torrid life, you know. It controls, or not controls. Yeah, it allows me to gather all my scattered thoughts and roll them out, if you get what I mean. Now, there's a lot of bad marijuana all over the world, all over the UK especially. Fentanyl is what it's cut with, and that's what's giving you that psychosis, or making you feel like you're getting fucking cuckoo. But now I'm a massive advocate for marijuana, and it is what it is, you know. But no, ADHD. You're seeing this everywhere now. What is it? Well, I kind of explained my theory before. I got kicked out of school 12 years old, never went to college. I went to college for 3 months. I think I realized that by law you don't have to go. So I left. University, never went. Been on road ever since, done a couple jobs here and there, but got sacked from the majority. What I'm trying to say is, if you do have that ADHD brain, one thing you can do is a lot of things at the same time. But you might not be able to finish all those things, which makes it almost irrelevant, you know? So, let me flip it a bit here as well, because I'm not an advocate for medicine. I'm not an advocate for pharmaceuticals. But what the ADHD medication does do, it's speed, if you didn't know. Speed. It basically, well, I've used it over the years as a tool. And what it's basically done is it's collected those scattered thoughts and allowed me to roll out what I'm trying to do. Again, not an advocate for anything pharmaceutical, but it does come to a point in life where if you keep fucking up and making the same mistake over and over and over and over again, you know, if you're not careful, that one last mistake might be the end of you, you know. So even with antidepressants, I've never taken them myself. I know people that have done, you know. Do whatever you need to do to get you through, yeah? But remember that these pharmaceuticals, if you do take them, you know, it's just a tool, you know, it's just a tool. Look where I am. This could be fun doing the podcast this way, to be fair. It could be fun. It could be fun. You're all going to come to a point in your life where I guess it's a breakdown. Sky just has been there a few times. And you know, what do? You cry? You give up? One good thing about hitting rock bottom, there's only one way up. And when you hit rock bottom and you persevere and you get through, you become a whole different kind of animal. And you know, this country, I don't even want to say this country, the Western world in general, the Western world is fucking falling apart, you know. Men, what can you even say about men? It's a sorry sight, you know. But all we can do is level up for ourselves and our family and our close ones, you know. I think 2024 is going to be a very, I don't even want to say 2024 is going to be a very difficult year. The last couple of years have been fucking tapped since COVID. And they're going to get worse and worse and worse, you know. And that might not necessarily be a bad thing, you know. Over the last 30 years, or our generation, not our generation, our parents' generation, when we were growing up, it was good times, it was easy living, you know. Easy living creates weak men, you know. And that's what's happened to this country, and that's where we're at. Hard times create strong men, you know. But you've got to dig deep. You've got to try it more than anything. You have to exercise, you have to eat right. These are the first steps to beating mental health. Mental health. You know. And then after that, you have to understand why you react and do some of the things that you do. You have to be very, very self-aware. You know, take accountability, look at yourself, you know. And once you start understanding certain things, you know, you don't keep making the same mistakes. You kind of look at yourself like an out-of-body experience as a character in a movie. And then, yeah, you know, movie, that's what we're in. And you are in control of your own destiny in that movie. You know, we're all getting to that, nah, we're not all getting to that age. I'm 37 now. You know, my friends and closest to me, 35 to 40, so it's that era, it's that age where maybe all those great things that we thought we were gonna do or be as a child haven't come to fruition. All those places we thought we were gonna go, you're a 40-year-old man, for example, and it hasn't happened. You know, this breeds bitterness, you know. And I've told many a friend over the years, which is why I could never be bitter. I almost became bitter after the entity thing, after all the hard work I put in. I would say, fuck it. I had some very bitter moments that I openly showed on social media. And that's because I love music and I love what I do, you know? It's not, I feel like I work harder than more, so I should be rewarded more. I've always been independent. I've always wanted to be in control, not as a control freak, but I understand my vision, you know, and only I can implement that, you know. So for me, bitterness is a mad one, because I've lost a lot of friends in the last couple of years, since I woke up out of the slumber, since I became the man I am now, you know. No fucks. And no fucks doesn't mean me disrespecting people. Of course I've been disrespectful. Of course I said some things that, yeah, all right, cool. Maybe I shouldn't have said, you know, but I'll apologize if I've hurt anyone or upset anyone, truly. And I still stand on everything I've said, you know. I'm a human being, you know, and I think we're going through an era now where there's this thing called groupthink. And if you don't think in the group, you get banished, you know. And people might realize or might not realize, by doing the whole groupthink, you know, they're taking us a place we don't really want to go. Trust me. See, when you got the mind that we have, this is what I've been telling my brethren at the moment. You have to know how to channel it. So basically, if anyone's watched me on a mad one on Instagram, that's called Mania share. So see, when I'm manic or in mania, for example, God mode, creativity out of this world. So that's when I do most of my creating. And when it's time to be depressed, deep rest, you know, we rest. There's no such thing as depression, I would say, as an illness. You know, I'm someone back in the day who might have been, I remember being depressed for a number of years. I think it was after my quite big fashion career, where, going back to the ego thing, my ego obviously got inflated. And when it came to an end, I got depressed, you know, because obviously what I'd built up in my head of myself wasn't actually real. And when it came to an end, depressed, ego death, whatever. But now depression is an illness, there's no such thing. You know, I think we feel low in mood, obviously. But as an illness, nah. You know, and you're gonna get loads of people arguing back, saying, no, oh yes, you know, it's real. And I think, you know, don't get me wrong. We're given different cards in life, innit? Some people might have an easier life, some people might have a harder life. Doesn't mean that person who had the easier life or that person who had the harder life is not gonna feel less or more depressed, if you get what I mean. But depression is an illness. I think this is one for me to stop promoting, you know. We need to start promoting, in men especially, eating properly, yeah? Diet, exercise. I see too many men, even men that I know, yeah? They moan all the time, or they go out, they sniff packet, week in, week out, and then they moan about their mental health, yeah? And then you put it on them, you have to exercise, you know? They'll do one little bit of exercise, post a picture on Instagram, and then it's back to just being a packet head, you know? And I'm not even saying this in any sort of diss, it's more of a kick up the arse, you know? You won't beat mental health. You won't beat it, yeah? Unless you exercise. That's like the first point of call. You know? Look at the world we live in, it's artificial. It's artificial. It's artificial, and it's becoming more and more artificial as we move into 2030, you know? And if you're sensitive, if you're a sensitive soul, then you're going to be a lot more receptive to what's going on in the background. You know, I say back to basics. I said back to basics all them years ago. What I meant by that is go back to how it was. And when I mean go back to how it was, I'm 37, so if you're 20, 21, my going back to how it was is not the same. But anyone who remembers before the internet will know what I mean. You know, we are in a battle every single day with our phones. Why? Me included, all of us. You know, if you don't take time, that phone you have in your hand, New World Order, will control your mind, you know. And I think a lot of people, go look at your screen time. I know loads of people have spoke about this, but it's a real thing, you know. A lot of people don't even realize that thoughts are getting placed in their brain because they're stuck in the loop of the matrix, or they're stuck in the loop of the algorithm, I mean. And what I mean by going back to basics is going back to basics, back to nature. Back to nature. Back to nature. Back to basic nutrition. Follow Eddie Abu. I've been following his guide and it has been working a treat. You know, monitor how much time you spend online. I have to do it. I have to do it because I start getting on a mad one, ADHD. I start doing madness, you know, because the algorithm is controlling the majority of you lot's thoughts, you know, and thoughts, perception, the word, not the DJ, become your reality. So maybe for 2024, regarding anyone who feels like they're getting mad, or the doctors told you you're fucking tapped, maybe the first thing you can do is be self-aware. You know, and one last thing on the cancel thing. It's made me mentally strong. It's got many people out of my life, family as well, for the good, because it's just shown people's, you know, true faces. During that whole cancellation saga, for example, if you want to look at myself as an online avatar, and this is how a lot of people look at each other now, we're not even looking at each other as real people. It's like, oh my God, this guy's online avatar's popping off, so I want to be close to that groupthink. Oh no, this guy's online avatar now, everybody doesn't like it, stay away, stay away, stay away. So I think that's what kind of happened with me with the cancellation thing. And the most unfortunate thing about that is I had a lot of long-term friends who are now so stuck in the matrix with their reality, where they no longer were my friend anymore because of my behavior online, because the online avatar, going back to what I said, was no longer like something to be cool with, you know. And instead of actually being friends, for example, and saying, yo Shay, are you good, you know, I know you're going through it at the moment, but if you need me, I'm there. They kind of just, you know, pushed away. So they were never ever my friends. I found out loads and loads of people were never ever my friends, because at that moment in time, my online avatar, Entity London, Downfall, was no longer cool, you know. But now the online avatar, Renegade, real. Again, real life, everything, every mistake, every good thing I do, every bad thing I do is real, you know. And I guess that's the mantra of what Renegade season is. Real. But we'll sound it off on a positive. Not saying what I was saying wasn't positive. But you know, follow your dreams. Implement your ideas. Otherwise you'll end up bitter. Don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared of no. Don't be scared to be laughed at, you know. It's better to go through all these things and come through than to sit there and do nothing. My name is Renegade.